Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's LandonRemixes here, and welcome to my review of the crazy, hyped Moombahton EP by Dillon Francis. This one's called This Mixtape is Fire. A little ironic considering it's an EP and it's called This Mixtape is Fire. But this is my first review in about a month, and I'm just going to talk very quickly about what's going on because I don't think this review is going to be very long. As you can see, my computer's gone and it's going to be for the next few reviews. Next couple weeks I'm actually moving to Washington. I'm going off to college, so the future area of reviews is going to be in my dorm room, and hopefully that'll work out. It may not, but I'm going to try my best to continually get reviews out to you guys. So I'm kind of packing everything up right now. As you can see, there's not much on my desk, and sorry it's been kind of crazy these past couple weeks. I haven't been able to pump out a lot of material to you guys, but more is coming. I'm recording a ton of reviews today, so I'm planning on uploading those and recording, or editing them for that matter, and pumping them out while I'm traveling over to Washington. So hopefully you guys will get some continual content while I'm in the moving process. And this EP definitely was a bit overhyped. A few months ago back, people were saying that Moombahton was going to be the next big genre of EDM once Dillon Francis released this EP. And according to a lot of fans, Skrillex was going to have a big part in this EP. He ended up only dropping one track on this. And in my opinion, this is the worst track on the EP, Bun Up the Dance. Just one of the most generic Moombahton tracks I've ever heard. We listened to stuff on Dillon Francis' last album, Money Sucks Friends Rule. Tracks like I Can't Take It, and then the lead single off this EP, Bruk, definitely kill it in Moombahton styles. And then this one is just very generic. Like I said, Bruk absolutely killed it. One of the best tracks on the EP. And for the most part, this EP is exactly that. It is a Moombahton EP, and it doesn't necessarily bring any new styles. Although I do like this style, I don't think Dillon Francis was taking that much of a stretch with making it. In my opinion, the only track that really could have been something very unique and interesting was probably the collab with Chromeo, Lies, and then that one ended up being an interlude, which was extremely disappointing. I'd heard some previews on his Snapchat a while ago, and I got really hyped for that track, but ended up just kind of crushing. And in my opinion, this track could have evolved into something kind of like the Noisy Freaks. I'm a big fan of their sound, big fan of French house and electro styles. This track instead doesn't even drop. It ends up just being an interlude, which was really disappointing, and it almost seems pointless to feature this track and Chromeo on this EP. We get some fairly good collabs with Calvin Harris on here, Bro Safari, and Kygo. The Kygo one is definitely probably the most unique track on the EP, although I don't love it. Love the production on it. I do love the uniqueness on that. And just one of the things that is the downfall of this EP is the limited amount of diversity. And almost a bunch of these tracks, you almost don't even need the collaborators because Dillon Francis has shown off a lot more diversity on his last album, Money Sucks Friends Rule, and he's been able to show off how many different styles of music he can produce without having to have all these collaborators make Moombahton with him from people that don't really make in that genre at all. The Bro Safari collab was really cool, very diverse as a track, and the Calvin Harris collab ended up being quite a bit better than their last collaboration, Here to China, with Tiny Tempa on Calvin Harris's 18 Months. And the EP finishes off with the I Can't Take It Party Favor remix, always a cool little one, and I think this one definitely shows that the EP was centered around Dillon Francis as a Snapchat user and as a social media freak. He used, by he I mean Party Favor, used some of Dillon Francis's samples from his Snapchats. Better give me that beer, Darlene. That one, and then we've got DJ Hansel in there at the beginning, and it's definitely a funny track, and then the drop is absolute fire as well, which I think kind of ties back into the mixtape's title. Although this EP has one of the weirdest artworks ever, I don't think Dillon Francis really went for a weird sound on this. He took what his old fans liked, wrapped it back around to the style that everyone wanted to hear with his debut album, but didn't get, and it turned into this jumbled mess. And I don't want to say this EP is awful, but it's definitely not worth as much hype as it got. Your EDM, the company I work for, did an article a while saying that Moombahton was revived, or that it was a dead genre. It was revived with Bun Up the Dance, but it actually wasn't that interesting to begin with. Skrillex definitely could have dropped some interesting production on this, which he doesn't really do. And honestly, the solo tracks on this EP by Dillon are probably better, maybe other than the one with Kygo and Bro Safari. Most of the solo tracks on this are better than he could do with collaborators, which I think Dillon has something very good going on for him. He's a multi-genre producer, so he can definitely do that. That's something that made his last album very good, and that's kind of where the downfall of this EP came in. What do you guys think about the EP? I'm going to give this one a solid 5 out of 10. I've given a lot of EPs really good ratings, and that's mainly due to diversity and sound quality. A lot of people have released some very interesting material this year, and honestly, EPs have become some of my favorite things this year. Normally I didn't get them and I'd wait for the album to come out, but EPs have shown very strong things off. But this EP, since it's a longer one, I kind of took it as an album while listening to it, and the way it went, it just kind of didn't flow in my mind. And it just didn't show off a lot of diversity, and didn't really show how awesome of a producer Dillon is within this, and definitely was a step down from his debut album, and not a very good follow-up either. Although I do like Dillon Francis as a character, I dig his humor, and I do like his music to an extent. This EP was a bit of a disappointment. My CD is going to be coming in here in a couple days, but it's going to be good for jams. It's a good jam CD, but other than that, it's not going to serve as much. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure to listen to it if you haven't yet. Just dropped today. Anyway, I'm LandonRemixes. Peace out.